The room grew silent as the door opened. Students from 7 different planets stopped talking. Their eyes moved to the entrance. Emma Mitchell walked in. She was small, especially compared to the alien students around her. Her brown hair was tied back in a simple ponytail. She wore the standard academy uniform, but it looked loose on her thin frame. Commander Eric Porter turned from the holographic display. He stood at 7 feet tall. Like most humans who grew up on the space stations, he looked surprised to see Emma. "Class, we have a new student," he said. His voice filled the combat training room. "This is Emma Mitchell. She just transferred from Earth." A few students made clicking sounds. That was how the Vortheni showed amusement. Earth was famous, but not for good reasons. Every species knew about the death world where humans came from. Most aliens found it hard to believe anything could live there. Emma looked around the room. Her brown eyes moved from student to student. She saw the blue-skinned Kelveri, the 4-armed Vorthani, and the tall, thin Zexi. She nodded once, then walked to his seat in the back corner. Zakthul watched her walk past. He was the biggest student in the class. His 4 arms rested on the desk in front of him. Gray armor plates covered his body. They grew naturally from his skin. No weapon at the academy could break through them. "Is that really a Deathworlder?" asked Trix, a Kelveri sitting next to him. Her voice was quiet. She looked so weak. Zakthul's wide mouth showed his many teeth. "Maybe Earth is not as dangerous as they say." Emma heard them. She sat down and pulled out a small notebook. It was made of paper, something most aliens had never seen. She began drawing on a blank page. Commander Porter returned to the holographic display. It showed 2 fighters in a training match. "Today we continue with energy conservation techniques. Fighting smart is better than fighting hard." He pressed a button. The display changed to show paired assignments. "Find your partner. We will practice deflection moves. These techniques work against opponents stronger than you." Students stood and moved around the room. They formed pairs based on the display. Emma's name appeared at the bottom. No partner was listed next to it. "Mitchell," Commander Porter called. "You have no combat record in our system. I want you to observe today. Watch how each species moves. Learn their styles." Emma looked up from her notebook. "Yes, sir. Tomorrow I will test your skills. Then I can place you with the right partner." He turned back to the class. "Begin." The room filled with movement. Pairs of students circled each other. Some threw quick punches. Others tried to grab their partners. The Zexi moved like water, bending in ways that seemed impossible. The Vortheni used all 4 arms at once, creating a wall of fists. Emma watched everything. Her pencil moved across the paper. She drew simple shapes and lines. To anyone watching, it looked like random doodles. But Emma saw patterns. She noticed how Zakthul always dropped his lower left arm before striking. She saw how the Kelveri girl favored her right side. Jason Clark struggled against his Zexi partner. He was the only other human in combat class. Sweat covered his face as he tried to block the alien's quick strikes. The Zexi bent backward, avoiding Jason's counterattack, then snapped forward like a spring. Emma wrote something next to her drawing. She turned the page and started a new sketch. After an hour, Commander Porter called for a break. Students grabbed water and caught their breath. Emma stayed in her seat. She flipped through her notebook pages. Zakthul walked past her desk. He glanced down at her drawings. Planning to fight on paper, human. Emma closed the notebook. She looked up at him, just observing. He laughed. The sound was like grinding rocks. "You will need more than observations when you face a real warrior." Emma said nothing. She opened her notebook again and went back to drawing. The class continued for another hour. By the end, Emma had filled 20 pages with notes and sketches. When Commander Porter dismissed the class, she was the last to leave. She walked past the sweating, tired students who had spent 2 hours fighting. She had not thrown a single punch, but she had learned more than anyone realized. 3 weeks passed. Emma arrived at combat class early each morning. She sat in her corner seat and opened her notebook before anyone else entered the room. The other students started to notice her routine. She never joined the exercises. She never picked up a training weapon. She just watched and wrote. "Look at the Earth girl," whispered Trix to her friend. "Always sitting, always writing." Her friend, a green-scaled renderi named Vex, made a snorting sound. Maybe humans are too weak to fight. Maybe that is why Earth became a death world. Everything else died except the cowards. They did not know Emma could hear them. Human hearing was better than most species expected. Jason Clark entered the room, rubbing his sore shoulder. He had lost another match yesterday. The Zexy student had thrown him across the mat 5 times. He saw Emma in her usual spot and walked over. "You should join us today. Commander Porter keeps asking about your skills." Emma looked up from her notebook. "Not yet." "Come on," Jason said. "You are making all humans look bad. They already think we are weak." "Let them think that," Emma replied. She turned a page and kept writing. Jason shook his head and walked away. He liked Emma, but she was strange. Most humans at the academy tried hard to prove themselves. Emma seemed to want the opposite. Zach Thul entered with 3 other Vorthani students. They took up half the doorway. Each of them stood 8 feet tall. Their natural armor made them even wider. "The human girl still hides in her corner," Zach Thul said loudly. His friends laughed. The sound echoed off the training room walls. They walked past Emma's desk. One of them, Gorth, leaned down close to her. "What are you writing, little human?" "Poetry about fear." Emma did not look up. Her pencil kept moving across the paper. Gorth reached for the notebook. Emma's hand moved slightly. The notebook slid 2 inches to the left. Gorth's thick fingers grabbed empty air. "Leave her alone," Commander Porter said from the doorway. "Take your positions for warm-up drills." The students spread out across the room. Emma watched them stretch and prepare. She made a small note about how Gorth favored his right side. An old injury, perhaps. During the first sparring round, Jason faced a Kelveri student named Dex. The blue-skinned alien moved in quick circles. Jason tried to keep up, but Dex was faster. Emma drew the pattern of Dex's footwork. She noticed he always stepped left before attacking. Every single time. "Human reflexes are too slow," Trix said to her group. They watched Jason take another hit. No wonder they need machines to survive on their death world. "Earth is not even that dangerous," said Zach Thul. He was between matches, drinking water. "I researched it. Only 30% higher gravity than standard. The air is breathable. The temperature is normal." "Then why is it classified as a death world?" asked Vex. Zach Thul shrugged with all 4 shoulders. "Probably a mistake. Humans like to exaggerate. They want other species to fear them." Emma wrote faster. Her notes filled page after page. She drew diagrams of muscle groups, joint positions, and weight distribution. Each species had different weaknesses. She cataloged them all. Commander Porter called for technique demonstrations. Zach Thul volunteered first. He showed a grappling move that used all 4 arms. No one could escape once he locked the hold. "This is why Vorthani ruled in close combat," he said. The armor plates on his chest clicked together as he moved. 4 arms are better than 2. The class applauded. Even Commander Porter nodded with approval. "Excellent form, Zach Thul. You continue to improve." Zach Thul glanced at Emma. She was still writing, not even watching his demonstration. After class, Amy Rodriguez stopped by Emma's desk. She was not in the combat program. She studied tactical analysis in a different building. But she liked to visit between classes. "They are talking about you," Amy said. "The whole academy knows about the Deathworlder who will not fight." Emma closed her notebook. "Good. Good." Amy looked confused. "They are laughing at you. At all humans." Emma stood and picked up her bag. "Perfect." She walked out, leaving Amy standing there. Behind them, alien students whispered and pointed. The quiet human girl had become the Academy's favorite joke. None of them noticed the small smile on Emma's face as she left. The tournament board glowed on the wall. Every month, students could challenge the combat champion. The winner held the title until someone beat them. Zachthol's name sat at the top. It had been there for 2 years. 24 straight victories. Sign-ups close today, Commander Porter announced. Who wants to test themselves against our champion? Several hands went up. A Zexy student named Flux signed first. Then 2 Kelveri added their names. Each believed they had found a weakness in Zachthol's style. Emma stood from her corner seat. She walked to the board. The room went quiet. She touched the panel. Her name appeared on the challenger list. Emma Mitchell. Earth. Then the laughter started. It began with Gorth, then spread through the room. Students held their stomachs. Some fell off their chairs. The sound bounced off the walls like thunder. The sitting girl wants to fight. Trix gasped between laughs. Has she gone crazy? Zachthol stood slowly, his forearms spread wide. This is a joke, yes. Emma turned to face him. No joke. The laughter died. Students looked at each other. Was she serious? Commander Porter walked over to Emma. He bent down to speak quietly. Mitchell, I must warn you. This is not a training exercise. Zachthol fights to win. Students have been injured. I understand, Emma said. Broken bones, Porter continued. Torn muscles. 2 students spent weeks in medical. I understand, Emma repeated. Porter studied her face. He saw no fear, no doubt, just calm certainty. Very well. The match is in 3 days. Emma nodded and returned to her seat. She opened her notebook to a page covered in numbers. The news spread fast. By lunch, the entire academy knew. The quiet human girl had challenged the unbeatable champion. Amy found Emma in the library that afternoon. Have you lost your mind? Emma looked up from her notebook. No. Emma, please listen. Amy sat down across from her. I know you want to prove something, but Zachthol is dangerous. He sent a Rendarid to the hospital last month. I know. Emma turned her notebook toward Amy. Look at this. Amy saw pages of numbers, angles, and formulas. Physics equations covered every inch of paper. What is this? Math, Emma said. Zachthol has 4 arms, but they share 2 shoulder joints. The leverage is split. His punching force is actually 30% weaker than it appears. Amy stared at the calculations. You have been studying him. All of them. Emma flipped through pages. Every species, every student. Strengths, weaknesses, patterns. But knowing is not the same as fighting, Amy said. Emma smiled. On Earth, my grandmother hunted bears. Bears. Massive predators. 800 pounds of muscle and claws. Amy's eyes went wide. How? Not with strength, Emma said. With intelligence. Bears are predictable. They attack the same way every time. Know the pattern, control the outcome. Amy looked at the notebook again. Each page showed detailed analysis. Emma had studied every aspect of alien combat. Trust the math, Emma said. That evening, Jason found Emma in the gym. She sat on a mat, eyes closed. Everyone thinks you have gone crazy, he said. Emma did not open her eyes. Good. Why good? They are betting against you. The odds are 500 to 1. Perfect odds, Emma said. Jason sat down beside her. What are you doing? Meditating. Visualizing. Visualizing what? Victory. Jason laughed, but it sounded nervous. Zachthol has never lost. His armor cannot be broken. Emma opened one eye. Everything has a weakness. Not Vorthani armor. Especially Vorthani armor. Emma closed her eye again. They rely on it too much. Makes them careless. Jason stood to leave. I hope you know what you are doing. I do. As Jason walked away, Emma continued her meditation. In her mind, she saw every move Zach Thole would make. She had watched him fight 37 times. She knew his patterns better than he did. The tournament was in 3 days. The entire academy would watch. They expected to see a human get crushed. Emma smiled. They would see something very different. Emma sat in Amy's dorm room. Jason was there too, along with Kyle Bennett from the engineering program. They all looked worried. "Show them," Amy said. Emma opened her notebook. She spread 20 pages across the table. Each page was filled with diagrams and notes. "This is Zach Thole," she said, pointing to detailed sketches. 2 years of combat footage. 37 matches. Kyle leaned forward. "You analyzed all of them." "Every second." Emma turned to a page covered in red circles. "These are his nerve clusters. Vortheni armor has gaps. Tiny ones. Most species cannot see them." "But you can?" Jason asked. Emma nodded. "Human eyes evolved differently. We are persistence hunters. We notice small details over long periods." She pulled out another page. This one showed the Vorthani skeletal structure. 4 arms, 2 shoulder sockets, she explained. "The nerve paths cross here." She pointed to spots on the drawing. "Press these points with exactly 42 pounds of pressure for 0.3 seconds. The arm goes numb." Kyle picked up a page of calculations. "This is incredible. You mapped their entire nervous system." "Not just Vorthani," Emma said. "All 7 species in our class." Jason shook his head. "Knowing the weak points is one thing. Hitting them is another. Zach Thole is fast." Emma smiled. "He is predictable. Watch." She pulled out a tablet. Security footage from past matches played on the screen. "See his stance." Emma paused the video. "Left foot forward, weight on his back leg. He always attacks from this position." She played the video. Zach Thole charged forward, throwing a 4-arm combination. "Same pattern every time," Emma said. "Upper arms first, then lower. Takes 1.2 seconds total." Amy studied the footage. "You are right. He does repeat it. All apex predators do," Emma explained. "They find what works and stick to it. But humans evolved differently." "How?" Kyle asked. Emma closed the notebook. "Tell me about Earth." The others looked confused. "Everyone says it is a death world," Emma continued. "But why? Not the gravity. Not the air. So what makes it deadly?" Jason thought about it. "The animals." "Which ones?" "I do not know. Bears? Wolves?" Emma shook her head. "Think smaller." "Snakes," Amy suggested. "Closer, but think microscopic." Kyle's eyes widened. "Bacteria. Viruses." "Exactly." Emma stood and walked to the window. "Earth has millions of microorganisms. They evolve constantly, always changing, always adapting." "So?" Jason asked. "So humans evolved to match them. We change tactics. We adapt. We never do the same thing twice if it fails." Amy understood. "But these aliens come from stable environments." "Right. Their planets had 1 or 2 apex predators. Simple food chains. They evolved one way to fight and never needed to change it." Emma returned to the table. She picked up a page showing pressure points. "Zach Thole has won the same way 24 times. He cannot imagine someone fighting differently." "But you have never fought," Jason said. "How will you hit these points?" Emma sat down cross-legged on the floor. She closed her eyes. "Like this." Her hand shot out, 2 fingers extended. The movement was so fast, the others barely saw it. She touched a spot on Jason's arm, then returned to her meditation pose. Jason's arm went limp. "What did you do?" He grabbed his numb arm with his other hand. "Temporary nerve block," Emma said, eyes still closed. "It will wear off in 5 minutes." Kyle stared at her. Where did you learn that? Earth martial arts, specifically pressure point techniques from ancient China. But Zachthul is armored, Amy said. Emma opened her eyes. His joints are not. The armor must bend. That creates gaps. She showed them another diagram. Red dots marked specific locations on the Vorthani body. These points are exposed for 0.1 seconds during each attack. I only need to touch them. Jason's arm started tingling as feeling returned. This is insane. No, Emma said. This is human. She looked at each of them. We are not the strongest, not the fastest, but we are the smartest. That is why Earth is a death world. Not because of our physical power, because of our minds. Kyle smiled. Evolution through intelligence. Exactly. Emma gathered her papers. Zachthul expects a physical fight. He will get something else entirely. Amy touched Emma's shoulder. Are you scared? Emma considered the question. No. The math is clear. He cannot win. The others exchanged glances. 3 days until the match. The quiet human girl seemed very confident. They were starting to believe she might be right. The news reached every corner of the academy. The human girl would fight Zachthul in 2 days. Betting pools opened in every dormitory. 500 to 1. A Rendari student announced. Those are the official odds. Most students bet on Zachthul. A few humans put small bets on Emma, more for species pride than actual belief. Kyle found Emma in the meditation garden. She sat on a stone bench, eyes closed. Everyone is talking about you, he said. Emma did not open her eyes. I know. I could build you armor. Lightweight composite. It would not slow you down. No armor. Kyle frowned. Why not? It would change my timing. Every calculation is based on my current mass and movement speed. But protection would make me predictable. Emma opened her eyes. Zachthul expects opponents to defend. I will not. Kyle sat beside her. Can I see the math again? Emma pulled out her notebook. She showed him pages of equations. This is the force calculation, she explained. Zachthul generates 850 pounds of pressure per punch. But look here. She pointed to another equation. The angle of impact reduces it to 600 pounds at the contact point. Still enough to break bones, Kyle said. If it connects. Emma flipped to another page. His reaction time is 0.4 seconds. Mine is 0.2 seconds. That gives me a 0.2 second window. Kyle studied the numbers. Small margin for error. Error is not in the equation. That afternoon, Emma went to the library. She pulled up holographic projections of Vorthani anatomy. Layer by layer, she studied their structure. Dr. Lisa Chen from medical noticed her there. Interesting research. Emma looked up. Dr. Chen. Studying for your match. Finalizing my approach. Lisa sat down. As a doctor, I must warn you. Vorthani nerve clusters are deep beneath the armor. Very precise pressure is needed to affect them. 42 pounds per square inch, Emma said. Applied at a 15-degree angle. Duration of 0.3 seconds. Lisa's eyes widened. You have done serious research. Would you like to see? Emma asked. She projected a 3D model of a Vorthani arm. Red dots mark specific points. These clusters control motor function, Emma explained. Disrupt them temporarily. The limb stops working. In theory, Lisa said, but in practice. In practice, humans have been using these techniques for thousands of years. We call it DIMMAC, death touch. On humans, yes, but alien physiology follows the same neural principles. Emma changed the projection, just different locations. Lisa studied the diagram. As a doctor, she knew Emma was right. The science was sound. Your knowledge is impressive, but knowledge alone is everything, Emma finished. Zachthul relies on strength. I rely on intelligence. That evening, the human students gathered in Jason's room. Word had spread that Emma needed support. We should be there, Jason said. Show unity. She will lose, said Marcus, another combat student. But we stand together. Emma entered the room. Conversation stopped. Thank you for coming, she said. We are here for you, Jason said. Win or lose. Emma looked at them. 20 human students, all expecting her defeat. I need one thing, she said. Anything, Kyle offered. Silence. They looked confused. During the match, Emma explained. No cheering. No shouting. I need to hear his movements. That is all. Marcus asked. That is all. She turned to leave, then stopped. Actually, one more thing. Bet on me. What? Jason said. 500 to 1 odds. If you each bet 20 credits, you will win 10,000. Emma. Marcus started. Trust the math, she said, and left. The room stayed quiet after she was gone. Is she crazy? Marcus asked. No, Amy said from the doorway. She had been listening. She is human. She looked at the group. I have seen her notes. Her calculations. She knows exactly what she is doing. But Zach Thole. Will lose, Amy said. I am betting my entire savings on Emma. The others looked at each other. Slowly, they began nodding. For humanity, Jason said. For humanity, they echoed. Outside, Emma walked back to her room. She sat on her bed and closed her eyes. In her mind, she ran through every move, every calculation. 2 more days. Then the galaxy would learn what humans could really do. The combat arena filled with students and faculty. Every seat was taken. More viewers stood along the walls. The monthly tournament always drew crowds, but this was different. Everyone wanted to see the human girl fight. The ring stood in the center, 30 feet across, surrounded by an energy barrier. No rules except one. Fight until someone yields or cannot continue. Zach Thole entered first. The crowd cheered as he walked through the fighter's entrance. His gray armor plates clicked with each step. All 4 arms raised to acknowledge his fans. 2 years. Someone shouted. 24 wins. Zach Thole stopped in his corner. He stretched his arms, one at a time. The armor plates shifted, revealing the joints beneath for split seconds. Emma entered from the opposite side. The cheering stopped. She wore simple training clothes. No armor, no protective gear, just soft shoes and loose pants. She walked to the center of the ring and sat down. The crowd looked at each other. Was this a joke? Emma crossed her legs. She placed her hands on her knees. Then she closed her eyes. What is she doing? A Kelveri student whispered. Giving up, suggested another. Commander Porter stepped to the edge of the ring. Fighters, are you ready? Zach Thole nodded, confused by Emma's position. Emma did not move or open her eyes. Mitchell, Porter called. Are you ready? Emma raised one hand slightly, then lowered it. A small nod. Porter looked uncertain but continued. Begin. The bell rang. Zach Thole took 2 steps forward, then stopped. His opponent had not moved. She still sat with eyes closed. Stand up, he called. Fight. Emma remained still. The crowd murmured. Some laughed nervously. Others looked worried. Zach Thole moved closer. This is disrespectful. Stand and fight. No response. His 4 hands clenched into fists. In 2 years, no one had mocked him like this. He charged. 800 pounds of 4th any warrior rushed forward. His feet thundered on the mat. 4 arms pulled back, ready to strike. At the last possible second, Emma's eyes opened. She leaned left, just 6 inches. Her right hand moved up, 2 fingers extended. Zach Thole's lower left arm swung past her head. Her fingers touched a spot just inside his elbow joint. She returned to her sitting position before he could react. Zach Thole stumbled past. His lower left arm hung limp at his side. The crowd gasped. He turned, confused. His arm would not respond. What did you do? Emma sat quietly, eyes closed again. Zach Thole roared. He charged again, using his 3 good arms. Emma shifted her weight backward. Zach Thole's upper right fist passed over her head. Her left hand shot out, touching his wrist for a fraction of a second. She returned to position. His upper right arm went dead. Impossible. Zach Thole stared at his useless limbs. The arena fell silent. Students leaned forward in their seats. Amy grabbed Kyle's arm. She is doing it. The nerve points. Zach Thole circled Emma now, more cautious. Half his arms hung useless, but he still had 2 good ones, still had his armor. He attacked from the side. A sweeping motion meant to knock her over. Emma bent backward, her spine curving impossibly far. Zach Thole's arm passed over her. As it did, she touched the inside of his shoulder joint. She straightened up, still sitting. 3 arms now hung limp. The crowd erupted. Some cheered. Others shouted in disbelief. She has not stood up, a Zexy student yelled. She has not even stood up. Zach Thole breathed heavily. 3/4 of his offensive power was gone. But he had 1 arm left. 1 was enough. He raised his upper left arm. His strongest. His favorite. Emma watched him now, eyes open but calm. He struck straight down, using his full weight. If it connected, it would end the fight. Emma leaned right and forward. The strike hit empty mat where she had been sitting. As Zach Thole's arm extended fully, she touched the nerve cluster in his armpit. 4 arms, 4 perfectly placed touches, 4 useless limbs. Zach Thole stood there, all 4 arms hanging dead at his sides. He tried to move them. Nothing happened. Emma remained seated. She had not stood once. She had moved less than 2 feet total. "Yield," she said softly, her first word since entering the ring. Zach Thole fell to his knees. Without his arms, he could not balance properly. "I yield," he gasped. The crowd exploded. The arena stayed silent for 3 seconds. Then chaos erupted. Students jumped from their seats. Some screamed in shock. Others cheered wildly. The human section went crazy, hugging each other and yelling. Emma still sat in the ring. She had not moved from her meditation position. Medical staff rushed to Zach Thole. He knelt on the mat, trying to move his arms. Nothing worked. "Paralysis in all 4 limbs," Dr. Chen announced. "Nerve disruption, but no permanent damage." She looked at Emma with new respect. The precision required for such strikes was almost impossible. Commander Porter entered the ring. He stood over Zach Thole, then walked to Emma. "Mitchell," he said, "the match is over. You can stand now." Emma opened her eyes. Slowly, gracefully, she uncrossed her legs and stood. The simple movement made the crowd cheer again. She walked to Zach Thole and bowed deeply, a sign of respect in many Earth cultures. "Your arms will work again in 5 minutes," she said. "I was very precise." Zach Thole looked up at her. Fear, confusion, and something else filled his eyes. "Respect. How?" he asked. "You fight with patterns," Emma explained. "The same combinations every time. I knew where your joints would be before you moved." Feeling started returning to his arms. Pins and needles, then movement. But the speed, the accuracy. Emma knelt beside him. "Humans evolved as persistence hunters. We track prey for days. We notice tiny details. We predict movement. Your planet," Zach Thole said, "it really is a death world." "Yes," Emma agreed, "but not for the reasons you think." She helped him stand as his arms recovered. The crowd watched this strange moment between victor and defeated. "Every species here evolved as apex predators," Emma continued. "Top of your food chains. You never needed to change tactics. And humans. We were prey first, then hunters. We survived by thinking, adapting, finding weaknesses. Zachthul flexed his forearms. They worked perfectly again. "Show me," he said. Emma blinked. "What?" "Show me how you did it. Teach me." The request shocked everyone. The Academy's greatest warrior asking the quiet human girl for lessons. Emma smiled. "Tomorrow. Meditation Garden. 5 in the morning. I will be there." Commander Porter cleared his throat. The winner of this match and new combat champion, Emma Mitchell of Earth. The human section erupted again. Jason and Kyle ran into the ring, lifting Emma on their shoulders. She looked uncomfortable with the attention, but allowed it. Later, in the Academy's common room, alien students surrounded Emma. They all had questions. "Is it true you never moved more than 2 feet?" asked Trix. 1.8 feet. Emma corrected. "I measured, and you planned every counter before the match started." The math was clear. Zachthul had 4 possible attack patterns. I prepared for all of them. A Rendari student pushed forward. "Could you do that to any of us?" Emma looked around the room. Different species, different anatomies, different fighting styles. "Yes," she said simply. The room went quiet again. "But I would rather teach you," Emma added. "Defense over offense, efficiency over power. The human way." "Why share your secrets?" asked Gorth. Emma stood. "Because that is also the human way. We survived by cooperating, by sharing knowledge, by making the tribe stronger." She pulled out her notebook. "Every species here has strengths, but you also have weaknesses you cannot see. I can teach you to see them." "In exchange for what?" Zachthul asked. He had been standing quietly in the corner. "In exchange for learning your strengths," Emma said. "Humans adapt. We take the best from every culture we meet." Amy stepped forward. "She is starting a new class, Combat Philosophy." Commander Porter approved it today. Students looked at each other, learned from the Deathworlder who beat their champion without standing up. "When?" asked Trix. "Next week," Emma said. "But first, I need to cash in some bets. 500 to 1 odds, I believe." The crowd laughed. Even the aliens who lost money smiled. They had witnessed something incredible. As students dispersed, Zachthul approached Emma again. "That move you did, the nerve strikes. How long to master?" Emma thought about it. "On Earth, years. But you are not human. Your precision is already good. Maybe weeks." "Weeks," Zachthul repeated. "To defeat any opponent without real effort. To defeat them without hurting them," Emma corrected. "That is the true mastery." She left the common room quietly, the same way she had entered the combat class weeks ago. But now everyone watched her go with different eyes. The Deathworlder had shown them something new, something terrifying and beautiful at once. The age of brute force was ending at the Academy. The age of intelligence had begun. 6 months passed. The Academy was different now. Emma's Combat Philosophy class met every morning in the Meditation Garden. 40 students attended regularly. All 7 species were represented, including 3 Vorthani warriors. Zachthul sat in the front row. His notebook was almost as full as Emma's used to be. "Today we study pressure dynamics," Emma announced. "How to redirect force instead of meeting it." She demonstrated with Flux, the sexy student. He moved like water, but Emma moved like air. Where he flowed, she simply was not there. "Conservation of energy," she explained. "Why use strength when gravity works for free?" After class, students practiced in pairs. The sound of combat had changed. Less grunting and impact. More whispers of movement and surprised gasps as techniques worked. Jason found Emma watching from her old corner spot in the training room. "Full circle," he said. Emma smiled. "Different view now. The Academy ranked you first in combat theory, the youngest instructor in history. Rankings do not matter. Learning does." Jason sat beside her. "The other human academies want you to visit. Teach your methods. Maybe. But this work is not finished. She nodded toward the students. Zackthol was teaching a Kelveri, the nerve points he had mastered. The blue-skinned student's eyes widened as her opponent's arm went limp. They are teaching each other, Jason observed. That is the point. Knowledge spreads, adapts, evolves. Commander Porter approached them. Mitchell, my office, please. Emma followed him. His office walls showed holographic combat footage, all from her matches and classes. Sit, Porter said. Emma took a chair. The Galactic Council contacted me. Porter began. They want to reclassify Earth. Emma raised an eyebrow. From Deathworld to strategic resource, Porter continued. They believe human combat philosophy could revolutionize peacekeeping operations. Interesting. They want you to lead a program, teaching at the highest military levels. Emma was quiet for a moment. No. Porter blinked. No, not yet. The students here need more time. And I am still learning too. Learning. You defeated our best warrior without moving. That was just the beginning. Emma pulled out a new notebook. Each species has centuries of combat wisdom. I have only scratched the surface. Porter looked at her notes. Pages covered in observations about alien fighting styles. You are studying them while teaching them. Humans adapt. We take knowledge and make it better. Then we share the improved version. The council will not be happy. Emma shrugged. They can wait. Real change takes time. That evening, the tournament board glowed again. Monthly challenges had resumed, but they were different now. Trix faced Gorth in the ring. Both had studied with Emma. Their match looked like a dance. Strikes that never quite connected. Redirected force. Pressure points threatened but not used. After 10 minutes, both yielded simultaneously. They were too evenly matched using the new methods. Boring. Someone shouted from the crowd. But Emma saw beauty in it. Violence transformed into art. Destruction become understanding. Amy found her after the matches. News from Earth. The combat schools are adopting your techniques. Not my techniques, Emma corrected. Humanity's techniques, refined by alien wisdom. Whatever you call them, they work. Injury rates down 80%. Skill levels up across the board. Emma nodded. Good start. Start. Imagine every species sharing their best knowledge, not just combat. Science, art, philosophy. True galactic cooperation. Amy smiled. The Deathworlders teaching peace. Poetic. Later that night, Emma sat in her room. Her old notebook lay closed on the shelf. She did not need it anymore. The patterns were in her mind now. A knock at the door. Zackthol entered. Tomorrow's lesson, he asked. Micro-movements in zero gravity. The Kelveri developed it for space combat. You learned this from them. Yesterday, Trix taught me after class. Zackthol laughed. The teacher becoming student. Always, Emma agreed. That is how we grow. He left, and Emma returned to her new notebook. So much to learn. So much to share. Outside her window, the academy slept. But in training rooms across campus, students practiced what she had taught them. Human philosophy spreading through alien minds. Earth was still a death world, but its children were teaching the galaxy how to live.